welcome to lunch with Bertie. This one I'm allowing to go for 15 minutes. Someday it will go a whole hour, but I still have a little bit of anxiety about it. So to get myself to even film today, I had to say 15 minutes, just go 5 more minutes than yesterday, 5 more minutes. So yes. And I don't know why. I mean, I have anxiety and y'all aren't even really like right in front of me, but sometimes I like to see what people's reactions are, and that helps me gauge my audience, if anybody's even listening. But I did take notes this time on what I'd like to talk about. So yes, my eye is a little red right here. I put in some eye drops, but that's what happens with my contacts when I sleep in them. Okay, so you're probably wondering what my experience is or why I finally feel like I can reach for my dreams. Because I honestly believe that if I had started, because trust me, I have started, like this, where I'm going right now has been an idea in my head since I was like 5. I mean, it's a whole segue. I will, in my book, draw all the parallels where, so I have always had like this big idea right here, who I want to be, which is the first girl, Tony Robbins. Let's go. But I've never lost sight of the top goal. I've been distracted. I've reached for less, forgetting that I had this top goal, but always somewhere in deep inside of me, I knew what I wanted to do. So now I'm just doing it. But if I had done it any sooner, my goals really were too low. My niche was too few. Because I don't feel like I feel like I'm not gonna have a niche 1% group following me. Okay, I'm not gonna be just to the executives. I'm one for the masses. I'm one for the ones who literally feel like they don't belong. That's who I'm here for. Those people. Because we're one and the same. And therefore you find belonging. But yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna get ice cream in a minute to help distract me. Eat the strawberry, that's good. Okay, so again, y'all, this is like the front lines. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I think I should do, which I've learned over all these years of experiences. Acting on it is the number one thing you can do. So I'm just letting y'all watch my journey as if I was a child celebrity star and you saw me grow up. You're gonna see all the first 20 years. I'm 43. The last 20 years, I did in silence. I did on my own. I did with my family. So all my failures and ups and downs were seen very privately. Okay? So I have that down under my belt. Now y'all just get to see me fail with grace, or fail forward with grace until I reach my final goal. Yeah. So until then, I'm going to be nervous. Once I get going, I'm fine, but I do have notes. And this helps me keep me accountable. I know that sounds really, really funny, but it does. It helps me keep accountable knowing that, there might be 2 people watching, or I'll just watch back myself someday laughing, or my kids will in my funeral. Remember the time. Okay. So we're going to, there were a few points I wanted to make today. That was yesterday's sales training notes. And these are I titled it Mama Psychology, because I have 5 kids who are 23, 21, 20, 14, and 10. 4 of them are Generation Z, Gen Z. I'm a Gen Y, my husband's a Gen X, and my youngest is a Generation Alpha. And y'all, this one, I'm telling you, like, wisdom runs deep in this one of mine. My oldest one too. Like, just that wisdom, that deep internal thought and insight and all this, and seeing other things most don't. So yes, this next generation, they're coming up strong, this Generation Alpha. All right. They're like all of us wrapped up in one. All of our generations. Because I feel like, yeah, anyways. Okay. So with that being said, here's something that I found interesting. I cry quite a bit. Well, my 14-year-old has she's intellectually disabled. She has an IQ that's just under what you would consider an average IQ. But because of that, she's in life skills, which I think they should have a life skills for all students. It just makes sense. And also the way that she is judged, you know, it's not like A, B, C, D, and E, what they do, which I love, and I wish they also did for students everywhere, but I understand it's pressure and too personalized, so you have to reserve your personification for certain groups. So she's very honest, though. She's very honest. Oh, what they do, though, in these groups is they say, we would like her within the next 6 months to be at 80% of knowing her whole alphabet. Okay, that was like in 4th grade or 3rd grade. But that's what it was. It's all very individualized, and you could actually see the growth and her mastery, and it was 60% of 100. It was never like 60, you're failing. It's like, okay, she's here, now let's get her here. It's so much more encouraging. But she's okay. So her character, though, she's so honest to a fault, and I love it. I've learned a lot from her, being her mom. So, but my younger daughter Ruby, who's the Gen Alpha, she was, I can't remember what we started talking about crying, and Molly goes, Ruby doesn't like it when you cry, and I'm like, you don't? And she goes, no. And I said, is that because you don't like crying? And she goes, no, I love crying. I love the emotion. And I said, well, why don't you like it when other people cry then? And she goes, I don't know. It makes me feel weird. I don't like it. And it made me realize that what she was doing, and I asked her, I said, do you feel bad because you know what it feels like to cry? And so you feel bad for them, so that makes, because you know how they're feeling, that makes you feel awkward being around them? I thought that was interesting. She said yes. She nodded her head yes. And where I'm the opposite, when someone's crying, because I cry all the time, I immediately go, oh my gosh, I cry all the time, don't worry about it. Because I know for me, the reaction I get when I cry is always, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And I'm like, I can't help it. So I embrace it when others have a relatable experience that I do all the time. You know, I say all the time that I was put here to make other people feel better about themselves. Because if I can do it, you can do it. And my life has been like a series of crazy. Like, you know, there are certain experiences and you know you can't escape life. You know, see, there's life, there's death, there's birth. You know. But then there's other aspects of life that you never even consider that you will experience. And then when you do, and you experience it at such a level that you're like, if this is happening to me, it can happen to anyone. And so then you become more aware and you want to share. And then once you come out of it, you're like, okay, if I can come out of this, if I can be a better person because of this, then anyone can. And I think that's the spirit of my channel. But yes, so I'm 43 years wise, still learning. I have 5 kids, 20 years of, okay, so I originally started in the fitness industry. This is going to be a getting to know you one before I can really go on into my book. Because I'm going to be asking a lot of y'all's questions. I mean, like your ideas and thoughts and incorporate them. So I really want this to be like an all hands on deck, y'all, which means y'all, whoever's listening, you're one of my people now. I mean, you're stuck, so you're helping. So if you see something or I say something that really resonates with you, I want to know. And if there's something you want to talk about that you're just like, then I want to know, you know? I'm here to talk ideas and figure out why, so that we then can know the how to make everything better. I feel like you've got to get to that why on all fronts. That's what you do in sales. Why not for psychology? But then you can't focus too much on that why either, because then what happens? My ice cream's gonna melt. Because then what? I love ice cream. Okay. So you can't focus too much on the why and get stuck there. So you've got to figure out the why, use that information, and do better the next time. Okay, now what happened? All right, figure out the why, use that more information, and use it for next time. But you've always got to be moving forward, because it's going to be so easy to get stuck. Why is it now 11 seconds? Oh, 11 minutes. Okay. It's going to be very easy to get stuck in a pattern of negative thought, and that you can never get out of it, and that gets you nowhere. So that's why I eat ice cream. I don't think any of that really made sense, but that's me. And that's with my book. You know, this is just my life. All right. Okay. So my fitness fit. That's why I got back to notes, guys. All right. When I have a manager who's going to keep me on point, this will be so much more smoothly. But until then, bear with me, okay? Because I'm still doing everything by myself. Because my husband would cut everything to 15 seconds. Wow. I feel like the coffee's overdone. That's why I think I'm going to do this lunch hour with Bertie. And it will be live soon. I don't know when. I have about 3 more minutes. I might go longer. I don't know. Feeling my nerves, you know? I said at least 15. Okay. So, my background has always been fitness. I was a gymnast for 8 years, went straight into cheer. From there, I segued into competing in fitness competitions. And then I was a personal trainer for 25 years. So, when you are in the fitness industry and you are personal training or with these women who you're with every day and they see you as an unbiased source to give information to, and you hear some stories, you get to see perspectives, you get to ask questions. All my clients have been from different backgrounds and cultures and upbringings, completely different than mine. And as I see other people's life experience through the filters of my own growing up, the filters of how I have parented, and how I can see the struggles parents deal with, you know, with their kids and the system, and then spouses and how they struggle with each other. It was just fascinating. And because I was this unbiased source who was a close confidant, because, you know, basically what they say in the I didn't tell anyone. Like, I did not, like, any information I receive from anyone, as long as it doesn't harm another person physically or, you know, above and beyond of venting, I keep as a secret. Because if I ended up being the only person they actually told, they hear it from somebody else, that same news. Who's now going to become the untrustworthy source? So I literally never told anybody any of the information I have been given from the time I was a young tot, like, ever. My mom used to say that my little sister or my older sister would come and take my toys, and I would just sit there and let her. You know, I didn't cry because I would be telling on mom, right? So at that age, I knew to not tell. So, you know, because I didn't want her to get hurt. Isn't that weird? I don't really think that as a 1-year-old, I was actually thinking that, but wouldn't that be funny if I was? Wouldn't that be funny if we could actually go back that far into our 1-year-old psyche? And that would be amazing. All right, it's 15 minutes. I'm gonna go. It was fun. I have more notes, but now you know, like, the basis. Oh, and I was in 2 years of debate in high school. And oh my gosh, y'all, the debate team is another. I learned so much from the debate team. I learned so much from the group of people I was with. And I learned so much from actually, like, what you had to do, not only smart-wise, what you had to do to have charisma. So in high school, there was 2 kinds of people who would judge debate tournaments. And when you go into this room, this is how brilliant I was in high school. I had to learn. I knew I had weaknesses, and I was dang good at filling in the gaps. So, okay. So what I would do, there was 2 types of judges. I knew that if it was parents who knew nothing about debate, then I had to be charismatic and confident. I knew, however, that if it was debate judges who used to be on debate teams, they're professionals, they know what they're looking for, I kept quiet and let my partner talk, okay? And I always teamed up with the smartest debate kids. Always. That's what you do. You pair up with the smart ones and you work together as a team. You know, wherever you're lacking, you make up for where they lack. You know, that's the way I always looked at it. So I'd always choose who I felt was the perfect blend of a teammate. I mean, in everything in life, I've done that. That's like a life strategy. Like, I'm playing chess with my own life. I'm playing chess. All right, now I'm going to go. So thank you for being with me. Tomorrow I'm going to go for 20 minutes. All right, bye.